Union Corruption, The Fight and the Truth, Part 2. In Part 2, I will be discussing a little bit of the background on what started all this, the initial triggers that dug my investigation deeper into all this, and briefly about some facts. And it will prelude to Part 3, where I uncover the nitty-gritty numbers and facts and wrongdoings and just the good dirty stuff. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and let's get to the video. Okay, so Part 2, what triggered me to even begin this quest, begin this search, this investigation, this everything. Well, that's just a matter of curiosity. Okay, after my previous employer closed down, a lot of things happened. They closed down. There was not another plastering company out there that was union yet or anything. So that was questionable. The industry was a little shaky. The union the union business manager, who's a good friend of mine, who I worked with a lot, he passed away immediately right around that same time. And a new guy took over. So there's just too many questions, too many unknowns. So I decided to switch industries, switch careers, and became my weekend passion full-time as a mechanic. So that's where that ended for a while. And I was continuing with, my career as a mechanic, and then curiosity just got the best of me. And I decided, well, I'm going to see how my old union's doing. See what's the happening about them. See what's going on. See if it's all right. So I did, and immediately I didn't like what I was seeing. Upon just general searching, Facebook, their website, just little things, I just noticed, there's not really anything. No news, no updates, no big announcements, no nothing. How is the union doing then? What the heck? So I started to look deeper, and I found on, just union searches through different avenues, which I found just general basic stats and information about the union, through the years. And one thing that really triggered it all, that set me off, that set me on my quest, the first major thing that made me decide I need to look into this, seriously, was I didn't know the impact, the quiet impact that my old employer closing their doors, I didn't realize the impact it actually had. I seen that the total union members went from 200 when my employer was there, and after they closed, the total union member count went down to 50. I thought, whoa. The union lost 150 members, 3/4 of the members, when this file closed. I was like, wow. I was like, huh. And then I noticed that they weren't getting any of them back. It was staying stagnant at the low 50. They didn't get him back. I thought, wow. So those are all cement masons, apparently. So I was curious. I was like, I wonder if they provided any plaster work then. So I contacted a buddy of mine who's a plasterer who I worked with a lot over the years, just because I was curious. I knew he was somewhat, involved with the union. I think he was a recording secretary or something like that previously. And I contacted him. I asked him, "Hey, when was the last time the union provided any plasterers any work?" And he said, "Not since this file closed." I said, "Really? How do you know this?" And he said, "Because I'm current union president." I told him, "You're current union president? But you're a plasterer." He said, "Yeah. I'm the union plasterer, and we haven't been able to provide any plasterers work since they closed. I am the president, and I've been working non-union since the company closed. So the union president himself has been working non-union since they closed." Thought, okay, well, who's running the union then? So, oh, this guy that took over after Art passed away. I thought, oh, okay, so what's the deal with him? And so I looked in, and he's the only paid union employee, this business manager, not the union president. The union president doesn't receive any compensation, at least according to him, and I do believe him. He doesn't receive any compensation. And on any of the paperwork, it says that he doesn't receive any compensation, just the business manager. So this business manager that took over after Art died, God rest his soul, is the only paid employee, and obviously gave up on the plasters, because not a single plaster has been employed, not even his own president. Okay, well, that's not good. Thought, okay, well, because of that, I better check my retirement, because that's not looking good. The union can't survive off of 50 members. There's no way. And the union can't survive off of just cement masons and not plasters. Plasters had a bigger industry anyway. So I thought, okay, I better look into my retirement. So I did. I got the new administrator that this guy transferred our plan to a new administrator, out of state one. I thought it was a red flag. So I signed up and looked at my retirement, and immediately red flags. The transactions were just bizarre ever since they took over. Like they didn't know how to do accounting, or that they were just fudging it or something. Because there was additions and withdrawals within the same year for a couple years in a row, and the books were just jumbled. I thought, what the heck? So I decided, okay, well, I better get my money, because it's not looking good. Something's wrong. So I asked the administrator if I can get my money. I wanted a rollover. Initially, they said, "Oh, you have to file a form application." Okay, so I did. That turned into a weird experience, because they weren't explaining it. They didn't send me the right form. They were just really odd to deal with. And then they were closed to the public. Due to COVID, I could understand that at the time, I guess. But in doing so, it got even weirder. Like I was dropping off my application paperwork and other prudent paperwork to their drop boxes outside their closed doors. And then when it got closer to finishing up the application process or whatever the case is, the drop box disappeared. They just took it away. What? That's weird. So I can't drop anything off directly to them. They're closed to the public. And communicating through the portal is a pain and extremely uncomfortable and shaky. So, okay, well, I'm going to have to start sending my paperwork certified mail. And even that was a little odd. But I just thought, why are they making it so hard to communicate with them? So that really got me investigating them. So I have. And They're from out of state. All the reviews are horrible. Everyone thinks that there's shady stuff going on there, some bad stuff going on there. I mean, nothing's good said about them, and nothing looks good about them. So, piled with that, and the fact that this new business manager who's shady himself, and gave up on the planet and doesn't care, and pays himself, and he has no other interests except for, hey, I'm getting paid. I thought the combination of the two is just not sitting right with me. So I started to look deeper and deeper and deeper. And the more I dug, the more I didn't like how it smelled. Because it smelled real bad and real shady. But I continued with the application process. Because according to ERISA law, which I looked up extensively, and I looked up the process extensively, and I looked up everything extensively. And the plan administrator was just oblivious to ERISA law or the process or to the requirements or anything. They tried to break ERISA law numerous times. The only time they complied with ERISA law is when I told them straight to their face, well, straight to their portal, but straight to them, you're breaking the law. You cannot do this. And then they correct it. And then tell me, oh no, you can't blame us for doing that. We didn't break the law, we did it. Yeah, only after I made you. Otherwise, you would have just broke the law. So, how do I know more than a plan administrator that's supposed to know all this stuff after only a few months, maybe a few months at that time, of research? And I'm not quote-unquote educated person. I don't have a college degree. But a business that's supposed to have these college degree yahoos, oblivious. So I'm thinking, okay, if they don't even know their business that they're in, or the laws that they're supposed to follow, or the procedures they're supposed to follow, or any of it, if they don't know that better than me that's been just studying it myself, teaching myself it, if they don't know it better than me, something's wrong. So that sent me in depth all the way across the board. I thought, okay, something's seriously wrong, something right. And watch my next video, and I'm gonna get into all the shady stuff I uncovered, all the shady deals with that business manager, with these guys, with everything. It gets super questionable. It's super shady, super dark, super, yeah. So stay tuned for the next video. Like and subscribe. It's going to get real interesting. So stay tuned.